Okay, y'all, so I'm just gonna dip right on into it. I'm not gonna even give you any prelude because I already know about the title, what is good. Now, let me just start off by saying that I think Twitter beef is childish, foolish, and it's just a distinct a display of coonery. I can't stand coonery, coonery and foolery. It just I don't like it. I don't like it. All I know is I get home from my good old job and I get on the Twitter and I see a whole bunch of tweets, retweets, and then retweets upon the retweets of something that Raz-B and Chris Brown, them said to each other, going back and forth, and I'm floored. I can't take. It was so heated. I had to stop, and I said, I'm not doing it. I just got off. I got off from Twitter. I logged off. I said, no, I am not going to be a part of this. I started tweeting, and then I said, no, I'm not going to do it no more. I'm going to quit. Because I can't. I don't have the scrump to do it. I don't. First of all, it started because Raz-B is being a real biatch. Tweeting things to Rihanna, telling her how much he adores her and wants to be with her. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff that he's tweeting to Rihanna, letting her know how he feels about her. While he's doing all these confessions, giving me Usher, he just looking real sad, looking real pitiful, real foolish. And I'm like, nigga, you're grown. Ain't nothing worse than a male groupie. Let me just make that abundantly clear. He tweets her, I promise to hold you like a pillow and make you feel right. Moving on. Somebody brings up Chris Brown, I guess a song that he had wrote or recorded before Chris Brown had went and did it, and then I guess it got big. I forgot what the name of the song was, but anyway, so he gets mad because people are, just standing Chris Brown to death and catches the attitude. And so he tweets to Chris, he says, do you hit your boyfriend Andre Merritt like you do your women? Ooh. Did y'all see that? Oh, what? Now, all I know is he started it. Now, let me say this before I even go any further. Raz-B is whack. He's irrelevant. I mean, seriously, for someone that went after all your band members after years of trying to get back into the band and trying to reunite the band, for you to have Raz-B2K as your Twitter name, now who's catching feelings? Now who's whacking, trying to get back into the spotlight? Not Chris Brown. I mean, it's amazing to me. Chris Brown could beat somebody up, and a woman at that, and still sell more records than you on a good day. And or bad. Let's just make that clear. You know what I'm saying? And no, I'm not saying that I'm a crazy fan of Chris Brown. Chris Brown makes good music. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that he's whack, because he's not. He's far from it. But, you have to respect him for trying, and you know what I'm saying, ... But being the fact that it's still fresh, it's still soon, you're not all the way there, Chris. You shouldn't be, picking fights with just anybody. Not saying that he started it, not saying that, but I would have chose to not even retaliate. Look at me, I'm not from Jersey. I would not have chose to retaliate to Raz-B because Raz-B is nobody. He's no one. He hasn't been anyone for a while. So, I mean, really, he was no one when he was out, because when the last time Raz-B had a solo on any of them songs that he did with B2K? Did he lead a song? I don't even remember Raz-B having a part on the song. I mean, at least Michelle, she was like the Lone Ranger, you know what I'm saying, the oddball, the ugly duckling, and Destiny's Child. But at least she got some verses. This nigga, okay. Chris Brown responds, he says, nigga, you want attention, grow up, dick in the booty ass little boy. Ooh! No, he didn't call him a dick in the booty little boy. See now. Wow. That was funny though, I ain't gonna lie. Let me add, before I guess Chris had went and responded to him, Raz-B had wrote, I'm just sitting here thinking how niggas like E. Bennett and Chris Brown can disrespect women as intelligent as Halle Berry and Rihanna. Your whole career is disrespectful. Everything you stand for is disrespectful. Let me tell y'all something. I do not like Raz-B because number one, he's whack. Number two, I don't have respect for anybody that makes a mockery of child molestation. As far as I'm concerned, if you were indeed molested, first of all, why? I understand that when you're going through things and things like that happening to you as a young man or a child or whatever, it's hard to come out and say it. But for him to out other people in the group, make a big coonish video about it, and then on top of that, promote his whack piece of an album that he's trying to come out with or had come out with. I don't even know, because that's just how irrelevant he is to me. But for him to do all of that in one video and then, you know, lie in the beginning when it all started and then came back out and then tried to pick up the lie and throw it back with another lie, it's like, you know what I mean? It's foolishness. I don't appreciate anybody making a mockery or something like that, because I know too many people who have dealt with that on some real stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who have really been through it. And for you to be a disgrace to them and to disrespect them. You know what I'm saying? And then call yourself so media hungry that you will come at somebody else's issues and bring them. I mean, Chris Brown was minding his business. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was coming for Raz-B. I'm quite sure he was not even on his mind. But for him to come at Chris and try to throw him in it, you know what I'm saying? Because you're having a moment. Don't do that. Don't sit down, have a seat, ho. After Chris Brown has said that, he wrote back to Chris and said, "I love how you resort to disrespectful, low-blow tactics when you clearly sabotage your own career by beating women." Okay. Dang. And then Chris says, "Tell me this, Raz-B, why when the money was coming in, you weren't complaining about getting butt plugged, homo thug?" Dead. I can't. Woo! I'm gonna read it all, y'all. I can't. He says, "You're not homophobic, you're just homosexual on the low." Then he writes to Raz-B, Chris, he writes back, he says, he said, "I ain't deleting my tweets either. I was minding my own dang business and Peter Pan decides to pop off. What a lame." I agree. And then he says, "I'm not mad though. I'm just not silent, nor am I one of these scary R&B cats." Which I'm not mad at you, Chris, at all. I'm not at all. Raz-B writes back and he says, "I heard about all your boyfriends and tell your cheerleader Omarion to shut the F up before I send J Book to F his mama again." See, now he's getting personal. He ain't had to do all of that. Chris responds and he says, "It's funny how I'm nominated for 3 Grammys off of a mixtape and you're scrambling for change." When I say Chris was reading Raz-B and ended his whole career, I can't. He told Raz-B, he said, "You're an ex-backup singer. What do you make, like $1.99 an hour?" Raz-B says, "Since you took this that far, dude, I wasn't raped. What a disrespect to every kid around the world that has been molested." How? I don't get it. Nigga, you the one who disrespected every kid that got molested because you're making a mockery of it. See now? Any whore. He responds to Raz-B and he says, "Merry Christmas, I just gave you 20,000 more followers. You should have did this first instead of telling the world you got raped." Raz-B goes on to say, "My stepdad is doing 25 to life for abusing my mom, and I heard you say your mom was abused, and this is how you represent yourself by disrespecting women." Chris Brown responds, he says, "You have a lower back tattoo that says different strokes." Oh God! If I knew Chris Brown could read like this, I would have forgiven him a long time ago. Let me just. And then he says, "Raz-B fact, he can braid a nigga's hair with his toes." Come on, son. Then he says, "By the way, I love all my gay fans, and this is immature. This is an immature act," which is what he meant to say. He says, "By the way, I love my gay fans, and this immature act is not targeted at you. Love." Oh God, it's just too much for my life. Raz-B is going on and on. He says, "Dude, you must really like dudes, or you just a B2K fan, and this is how you spend 3 hours to show your true support." Nigga, please, you ain't been with B2K in how many years? If any, and who's a fan of you anyway? I mean, seriously, if for somebody who has fans, why did your album do like aluminum foil? Forget gold, platinum, triple platinum. You barely did tinfoil. Okay, saran wrap. Okay, don't do that. Don't try to hype yourself up and then try to use a reference from your group. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not even your group, Omarion's group, and it seems like Omarion's the only one that's still collecting royalties from it. I'm just saying. You just going back and forth with Chris Brown and saying, oh, he says, is this your way of coming on to me? Dude, I'm not gay. I was molested. Stop disrespecting the LGBT community. And I guess that's when Chris Brown had went back and said that it's not targeted to his gay fans. Personally, I don't think that Chris Brown was ever coming for the gays. I don't think that he ever did that. So, I mean, what he said have to do with the LGBT community at all? He's coming for you because you were starting that. See, this is why he's trying to set Chris up. That's why, again, I would have left it alone and let him look stupid. That's what I would have did personally. But anyway, then he says, at Chris Brown, you need to stop hiding behind that Michael Jackson picture. MJ would never hit a woman. You should take down that mic and put up Ike. And then he said, oh, your Michael Jackson tribute was cool until you made it about yourself. What a disgrace. God bless you too. Nigga, ain't it like somebody to be so messy in their own foolishness and then try to call somebody else out on theirs? Like, who are you to call somebody a disgrace after what you just did? Really? 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 Come on, son. Really? Chris Brown, he wasn't even saying much after that point. He was like, whatever. You're like, for real? He was saying it's whack as F-U-C-K that everybody can bash me, but as soon as I defend myself, it's World War III. I take ish from everybody. It's cool though. He said something to the extent of, watch me be the bad guy on all the blogs tomorrow. And that, you know what? And it's messed up, but it's so true. Everybody's gonna come at Chris for responding to Raz-B because Raz-B was making it about gay bashing and all this other stuff that it really wasn't about. But really, it wasn't Chris's fault, and I don't think Chris should be held accountable for anything that he said because Raz-B was being late, being a whore, being a queen, and being real disrespectful. And I wouldn't let him say what he said either. Raz-B is still going on talking about Chris Brown. He lets out 2-3 more tweets talking about Chris Brown. How do you defend yourself in that manner, bro? I forgive you, but you have a lot of people to apologize to. You offended a lot of abused people. And then he says, you know the world is an evil place, so why did you play into what the people wanted? My fault for bringing up your past. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Raz-B planned that whole thing out, and Chris Brown fell right into it. I'm sorry, but he did. He fell right into the plan. He let Raz-B get the best of him, and being the fact that he's still trying to get himself together, he should have said nothing. I can't necessarily blame him, because when you're coming at somebody trying to read their past, and that's just like a nigga, to read you by and judge you by your past, but not trying to support you. Saying you have a crush on my ex, my 5 seconds, my old goods. You know what I'm saying? And now you mad at me and want to throw shade, and then when I come back at you, you want to write TMZ, you want to go here, do that. He's whack. He's trying to get his 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Every other year, coming back out with some old stupid stuff, getting into it, people. That's what people do when they have nothing else to stand on. They come for other people trying to get their shine. I mean, look at Kat Stacks. How many names did she put out? Just trying to get herself put out there. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have read into that, but that was just, let me tell you something. I'm never going to be one for Twitter beast. I've almost been caught up in one myself. People talk about Facebook thugs like Twitter thugs don't exist. They do. Trust believe, because them same hoes from Facebook that came over to Twitter and started acting ugly. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's no, I mean, you're not 9 out of 10 going to see any of these people in real life. You're not going to back up anything that you're saying because you're going to be a... I was about to cuss, but I'm not going to do it because it's a new year and I done turned over a new leaf. Thank you. And the Lord kept me. While you're doing all of that, you could be doing so many positive things. You know what I'm saying? So much more to help black people, to help your fellow man, but you're bashing them. Yeah, that's my take on it. Nobody cares. I appreciate all the support, all the love, and yeah, Happy New Year, you know, and everything. Glory. Deuces.